how responsible do you all feel for making the world for everybody a better place? Like that you really are responsible for the world, and not just your lives, right? But the world. How responsible?
I would say you can't fix the world if you can't fix the issues that you have personally. So first of all, you have to work on yourself, and then figure out what to solve next.
But do you feel like you're part? So do you feel like you're part of the world? Like not in this small life, but you're really part of something bigger.
I mean, we're living in the same planet, aren't we? So we should help each other.
You feel that?
Yeah.
When you think about your future, do you feel like your goals in your future, like Rock is asking in a way, do you feel that connection?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah? Muna, how about you? Ms. I want to get rich and live a good life. Like, to what degree? You can't do that without other people around you. Like, so when people hear you say that, the idea is that you're kind of selfish or whatever, but you have a nice smile. Like, selfish people don't smile like that. So, like, to what degree are you really like, no, seriously, I'm just thinking about me, and I'm not worried about the world? Or what degree are you part of this larger?
With the field that I'm going into, like, it's about like helping like other people, like especially I want to go into obstetrics, so there needs to be more Black women in that field. So I definitely feel like I'm working towards a good cause, and I don't think I'm being selfish by saying I want to be rich. I think I'm setting a goal for myself, and we're actively working towards that every single day. And if somebody has an issue with it, then they're envious.
No, how about this, though? How about this? If everyone just had set their goals and worked toward their own goals and didn't busy themselves with everybody else, maybe it would be okay. This is the idea of radical individualism, right? Just take responsibility for yourself, and then everything is fine. Everything works. Just do what you need to do for you. And then, like, we don't need people like Mason going around the world helping people. Just deal with you, you know?
But I don't think it's that simple to just deal with you.
Santiago, how about you, like this idea that, do you see yourself, to what degree do you see yourself as something larger in the world? Or do you want to connect?
I think that since I have gotten like opportunities that most people in my country don't get, I do have to a degree a responsibility to take advantage of those opportunities. So to do my best to maybe not abuse those opportunities that I've been given.
So do you how often are you thinking that, by the way?
I mean, right now I'm not like really in a position where I can affect
to do it.
Yeah, but I know people that maybe are in those positions, and I do see them like think about that actively.
Yeah. So it's really as part of a longer term vision.
Yeah.
That you carry.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that already. Matt from South Carolina, what do you think will make you feel like you succeeded in life? Your hopes, your fears. You get to my age. What will have had to happen for you to succeed?
I was at least able to try. If I had the chance to try and like attempt to succeed, that's like success to me.
Yeah. So even if you don't do it, but you had the opportunity, you really did try, and that feels good.
As long as I didn't like throw it away and it like completely ruined and nothing I wanted to do ever got done. Like as long as I tried and some things got done, everything doesn't have to get done.
Dude, that's cool. Okay, I like that.
First of all, I put clear goals to myself that can be achievable. Obviously, you wouldn't say something that's impossible. If I achieve that goal in that certain amount of time, I will consider myself succeed in that goal or in that criteria.
And what if you don't make that particular goal?
Well, you have to go and rethink, why didn't you pass that goal?
You know, so what's interesting to me, one of the reasons I really enjoy this, I enjoy teaching this class and being part of the class, because I like hearing from people from different cultures, right? Saudi, Nigerian, American, Mexican, American. You're all very similar. And the meaning that people around the world are all pretty similar. one thing that has shifted, that we really started to notice about 5 years ago, is that happiness is really, really centered. It's like happiness is key. Meaning, money, well-being, all of that. Yeah, you got to have all of those in the world. This recent thing, this is this Deloitte study in 44 countries of Gen Z people. 6% actually want to be leaders. This is a serious shift, okay? Because everybody, go back 20 years, everybody wants to be the leader. Everyone wants to be the president, the CEO, the whatever. And now there's this sense of like, we're leading with happiness. Like, I got to be happy. I got to be content. To what degree is that true for you and people around you? That you really lead with that?
I mean, being a leader is going to put a lot of things on your head, and you have a lot of responsibilities.
Okay.
If you screw up, everyone will look at you and say, possibly you are the reason you failed the project or something.
Yep.
And yeah, nobody, I won't say nobody, but most people would not want that.
With good leadership comes like happiness, and then like behind that happiness is intention and everything. So I feel like if you're not really in a good place in your life and stuff, and you're trying to be that leader, you're not going to really put that foot forward that you're supposed to, and you're not going to set that example that you're supposed to, and there's just not going to be any sort of like effort or any sort of like intention, like I said, behind what you're doing. But
okay, all right.
No, ask your question actually.
No, so I was going to say, like, when you talked about what you wanted, you never said, I want to be a leader. You're like, I want to be a nurse. I'm going to get my doctorate in as a nurse practitioner. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be the CEO of a hospital or something. You didn't say that.
Well, maybe not like the CEO, but definitely eventually take on some type of like administrative like role, because I know I'm going to enjoy what I do, and I want to be able to help other people enjoy that profession as well.
Okay. All right, okay. Santiago, does this resonate with you, that like leading with happiness? So you got well-being, you got meaning, money's there, but it's all part of a package. That's the package is the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people do want to live like a happy life, and
in your generation.
Yeah, that's what they're aiming for, to live a happy life. If that's like being a leader is what makes them happy, then that's what they're gonna try to do.
This idea that, because this is different, right? Again, I want to go back 20 years. I've been in this business a long time, and this is not what people were saying 20 years ago, right? That my happiness is really, really important. So that's why I'm asking you, like, are you hearing this with people? It's like, yeah, that's what they're really talking about.
Yes, but I think like it's always been like that. Like most people have tried to be happy in their lives. Like I don't think there's anyone that's trying to not be happy.
No, yeah, but it's about a balance. It's about balance. Yeah, it's about leading with happiness as opposed to leading with money, leading with any other one thing. It's like, no, it's all got to go together. Yeah.
From back here, the statistic makes sense just because leadership positions usually come with some type of sacrifice or loneliness. So very few people would want to sacrifice happiness or their well-being to get to that leadership position.
So are you finding that with people like you're as part of Gen Z? Are you?
I mean, I guess so. I guess with the examples we've been given from people in leadership positions, they end up sacrificing one of these groups, if not something else personal to them. So a lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah. So you're seeing that.
Well, in my opinion, I think that even if I'm not in a leadership position, as long as I'm financially stable and I'm well and healthy, that would achieve happiness for me. So, yeah.
So that's the key. It's
yeah.
that balance.
I think that leadership position doesn't really matter as long as you're financially stable and meet your needs.